All right, and we're back live here during the third round of the 2025 NFL Draft. Our Titans draft live here on A to Z Sports, waiting and counting down fairly quickly to the 82nd pick overall as the Titans made a move early on day two, trading away the 35th pick in the second round to the Seahawks for 52, and also getting 82, the missing piece in the third round. Oleho is the edge rusher out of UCLA. There at 52 overall. Sam and Easton and I have been doing some work and research on that player more after the pick, and we'll have some more content coming out already. Actually, Sam's got something out there published now and more content flying as the Cowboys on the clock and the pick is in now. Does anybody want to catch us up? Either of you guys want to catch us up on the board? One of you can do the share the show, and the other can catch us up on the board.
Hey, share the show on Facebook, on YouTube. Hit that share button, hit the like button. We want to get as many likes on this version of the broadcast as possible. Now, Sam, tell us what we have missed since we've been gone.
Yeah, I mean, we've missed a good bit. I mean, where did we log off? There's been a lot. Tate Ratledge was like our last, or Ozzie Trapilo was the last pick.
Trapilo,
so
yeah.
Jack Betch, wide receiver, went in the second round. Mike Green came off the board. It was the Ravens, who would have been my second pick after the Eagles to be the team to just overlook everything on Mike Green and select him anyway. So he went. RJ Harvey was like a reach pick at running back by the Broncos. Omar Norman Lott, the guy that Easton said whoever took him was getting good value. Well, Kansas City Chiefs. Round three, really where it got interesting because you had pick 66, which, of course, was the L'Jarius Sneed pick. And that was used by the Chiefs on Ashton Gelati, an edge rusher out of Louisville that I know you like a lot, Easton. Mike Vrabel ended Cam Ward's dream. He took Kyle Williams at wide receiver.
Annoying.
And then it got weird, right? Like you and I were betting earlier, Kyle Williams or Jalen Noel. And we were like, all right, I guess Vrabel likes Kyle Williams. But the run on wide receivers since then, Isaac Tisla of Arkansas to the
Lions. Boy!
Pat Bryant out of Illinois, my boy, went to the Denver Broncos. So Landon Jackson's off the board. Those receivers are off the board. And Princely Umanmielen just went to the Carolina Panthers at 77.
Okay. So we're counting down what we have. Five more picks.
Four picks.
Four picks than the Titans, right?
And that's where we're at right now. And I think the thing that is top of mind, Jalen Noel is still there.
Yep. All right. We'll talk about all that here in a second. We do got to intro and get the good housekeeping things out of the way. A to Z Sports Draft Live. This is the third round, the third iteration, and then final iteration, unless there's another pick by the Titans before the night is over, is presented by Bart Durham. Injury Law. Crash can change your life forever. Help is just a click away at bartdurham.com. Also, give them a call, 615-242-9000, to reach any of their attorneys to help you out. And Holiday World and Splash and Safari celebrating 25 years of free unlimited soft drinks just 2.5 hours north of Nashville and Santa Claus, Indiana. Tickets at holidayworld.com. Use our promo code ATOZ for an extra bonus $5 off your tickets. Opening day just around the corner, May 10th, which is the same weekend as Titans rookie minicamp. Cam Ward will be at Titans rookie minicamp. Will he be throwing to a new wide receiver that the Titans take at 82 overall? We went through the entire weight from 35 to 52, thinking it was going to be a receiver. I wanted it to be Jalen Noel out of Iowa State. It wasn't. It was Femi Oladejo from UCLA, edge rusher, who, we'll talk maybe more about. I think I'm more in on him now than I was before we ended that live show. As I read up, I listened to an interview with Oladejo on A to Z Sports Film Room from a couple weeks ago. So now the Titans are approaching to be on the clock at 82 overall, and our guy Jalen Noel, Sam, is still sitting there, a really good player, wide receiver out of Iowa State.
I have a new best available list.
There's a lot of really, I mean, it's good that you just brought that up because I was to say there's more than just Jalen Noel as well. Like Xavier Watts is still on the board too, is like a safety that we've all really liked. Jalen Royals is still on the board. There's some decent edge rushers that are kind of compelling as well. Jordan Birch, Josiah Stewart. There's a decent amount of talent still here. So I'm interested in seeing where the Titans go. But if they're able to get Jalen Noel, big win.
Do we
Not
have
the
any
order.
concerns
Not the order I would have expected them to go in. Any
No.
concerns about what?
about him going in the next 4 picks before the Titans are all on the board?
Well, I mean, let's see. New England, I would imagine not, because they just took one.
Yeah.
Houston has already taken one in this year's draft. They took one tonight as well with Jaden Higgins. Actually, it looks like New England has traded out of their pick again, and the Colts are now on the clock at 80. So the Colts.
I wouldn't think the Colts are a wide receiver team.
Are we going spoiler free or no?
Yeah,
let's try to go spoiler free, Easton.
Okay.
I'm still waiting on the here's a random question not related to the Titans at all. Is Shedeur going to go tonight?
Doesn't seem like it.
Running out of spots.
Wild.
Day 3 is outrageous.
It's outrageous.
Also,
it's outrageous. What did he say?
The bit has gone too far. The bit has gone too far.
Mike Green is off the table, and you're telling me Shedeur said something in those meetings that takes him. Maybe that's what the Colts are doing. Could the Colts be coming up?
Honestly, that wouldn't be a bad pick.
Yeah, very good pick.
It would be a very good pick if you're the Colts.
That would be even more painful. The Cam Ward Shedeur rivalry if Shedeur became an Indianapolis Colt. That'd
be great.
I mean, think about that.
Yeah,
the levels of that would be intense.
Sign me up for that, for Shedeur and Indy versus Cam Ward and Nashville with the Titans. Easton, you teased your new best available list.
Yes.
Bring it on.
What I got. At the top, Jalen Knoll, obviously. Then cornerback Siobhan Revel. Surprised
did he just go?
Did he?
Siobhan Revel did go. He did go.
Excuse me. Take him off. Just kidding.
He was the pick by the Dallas Cowboys at 76.
Gotcha. So Jalen Knoll at the top, then Jordan Birch, edge out of Oregon. My boy, wide receiver Alec Ayumanor out of Stanford. Your boy Jalen Royals, Sam, running back Caleb Johnson, edge Josiah Stewart, and edge Braden Swinson. Love both of those guys. Wide receiver Jalen Lane, wide receiver Ty Felton. I wrote this wrong. Running back Cam Scadaboo for America.
I'll throw up if it's Ty Felton.
Okay. Safety Xavier Watts.
I don't want
Kevin Winston Jr.
Jalen, and that's not Royals or Knoll, and it's Jalen Lane. I'm also going to throw up. Carolina.
Just off the top.
Jordan Birch.
I was literally about to say, if it's not Knoll, I'd take Birch. So just kidding. If it's honestly, my pick of this list right now is, I mean, it's probably unpopular, but Ayumanor out of Stanford is my pick of this list.
Really?
I would not be mad at either of the safeties, by the way. Xavier Watts or Kevin Winston Jr. I like both those guys. It can make a lot of sense for the Titans. But if I had to pick, I mean, I would not be mad either if they doubled up at edge with Josiah Stewart or Braden Swinson. Or Kyle Kennard. For the record, I didn't put him on this list.
But Kennard, I feel like would be there at 103.
I think you're right. That's kind of why I wouldn't. Yeah, why are they showing Jordan Birch South Carolina tape? Oh, okay, there we go. Now it's back to Oregon. You said Kyle Kennard, then I looked up and I saw an edge rusher out of South Carolina. It freaked me out. Yeah, I would go one of the safeties, one of the edges. Are fine picks, good picks, but I would pick Ayumanor. Honestly, I don't think they will. I mean, maybe they will. I don't know at this point. I'm guessing.
Over who?
Over both of the edge prospects, Josiah Stewart and Braden Swinson.
I would take him over
and the safety prospects, Xavier Watts and Kevin Winston. I'm trying to figure out who would be their best available on the board right now.
I like Watts. I like Watts a lot.
Me too. I'd be happy with that pick.
But I'm not crazy about Ayumanor.
That's fine. I think he's probably the steal of the wide receiver class. But
the Texans pick is in.
Personal little.
Although I will say, like,
can I spoil the Texans pick?
Since we're picking right now,
I know. I saw the Texans pick, which is why
Jalen Knoll to the Texans.
So they did it.
They took both.
I did the joke last stream.
It's insane. It's really frustrating, is what it is. It's really frustrating.
Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll, both.
None of this is going to matter because the Texans can't protect their quarterback. So none of it's going to matter. I don't know why they're not drafting linemen, but that's
they
crazy.
Did. Those guys are really good.
Linemen. Okay.
Those guys are real good. That's really good.
That's frustrating, man.
Jalen Knoll is
very.
I mean, it's frustrating, but
who is protecting their quarterback? Like
it's frustrating. But I mean, they got Ursary in this draft too.
Yeah, these guys better be good out of the box. How often does that happen?
Yeah, Austin, as frustrating as it is, this is also a situation that like you couldn't have expected to get Jalen Noel at 82 or whatever.
No,
Yeah,
they're
wanting to take him at 52.
They're great for taking
Right.
him there. Of course,
Right. I get that. Right. No, like I'm with you on that. That's why you take him at.
I
50.
wanted to take him at 35. I wanted to take him at 35.
Same. But this is why like I didn't want to pass on him. Like you can't be like, it's frustrating that he went right before. It's like you missed your opportunity to take him when you.
No, I can be frustrated because I was frustrated an hour and a half ago.
Well, that's fine, but it's like we knew this was coming. The Colts are picking right now.
Just brutal.
Wally.
Who?
That's a guy I think that's the first guy I have not heard of.
Who?
Justin Wally.
Cornerback, right?
I think that's the first guy.
Is he hang on. Minnesota cornerback?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's
go.
I think that's the first guy I haven't heard of. That's, been drafted.
Wally.
Electric. Wally. All right. So who do we think the best player available is on the Titans board right now? Looking at the ESPN board, you've got Shadur Sanders, obviously. And then you got the center, Jared Wilson, who's honestly like probably the best center in the class.
I think if they're being honest with themselves, it's Shadur Sanders, but like,
but we're not doing that. So
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised by either of the safeties, Watts or Winston. I think Winston. I mean, I've heard Winston's a guy that the league likes a lot better. Not better than Watts, but better than the public does.
What about Savion Jones?
I would not hate Savion, but I know that people are very. I mean, you know what, Sam? That would be a pick that I jokingly said I'm going to write that article in the first stream. I'm really going to stop what we're doing and write that article about them swinging for the fences on home run traits because holy cow, Savion's a guy that did not have the production last year, but he's got the traits of the best receiver you've ever seen.
You mean Savion Williams?
What did I say?
Sam said Jones.
Sorry, Savion Williams. Oh, you said Savion Jones. Oh, we're talking about different players. I'm talking about the TCU wide receiver. So I do like Savion Jones. Fair. Sorry, I got hung up on the receiver.
Let's see if the
Jones
Bengals
would be fine.
They're announcing their pick right now, and then the Titans will be on the clock.
All right.
I'm pissed. My guy.
It's the game you play.
I mean, Caleb Johnson might be the best.
My favorite remaining receivers are Alec Ayumanor and Torrey Horton.
Dylan Fairchild, the guard on Georgia.
The Titans pick's already out. Sorry to be a spoiler, but
I'm not looking.
Kaharski is already getting them from his favorite little boy in the Titans front office. Not little boy, but his favorite boy.
Why are you trying to like?
Why are you trying to ruin
people's stuff, man? Don't ruin.
Kaharski's the one tweeting it out 2 picks ahead of time.
Yeah, don't
They're
ruin
on the clock right now. The Titans are on the clock.
Yeah.
Well, they've made a pick.
Yeah, I'm sure they have made a pick. That doesn't mean we have to share that they've made a pick.
I didn't share who it was.
I mean, should we announce it right now? Should we what?
I mean, if Kaharski tweeted it, how much of the chat is seeing it? Is my point.
What do you want? What do you want to do, Austin?
I mean,
if it was somebody random, I wouldn't have said it.
All right, go for it. Go for it, Easton.
No. We can wait.
I don't know who it is. So here's what we're going to do. I have no idea who it is. So I'm going to give a quick shout out to Bart Durham Injury Law, 615-242-9000. If you get hurt in a car accident, these are your guys to go to. This is the team to trust. 50 plus years serving Nashvilleians and Tennesseans, 615-242-9000 or bartdurham.com. Also Holiday World and Splash and Safari, just 2.5 hours north of downtown Nashville. Check them out. Use code ATOZ for an extra $5 bonus off your tickets. Opening day is May 10th and 25 years of free unlimited soft drinks right there. So now the Titans are on the clock. They made a pick. And of course they're on commercial. I have no idea who this is going to be.
Who do you want?
I have not seen anything. I don't know who I want.
That's why I'm curious who you want.
I'm pouting. I have no preference right now because I'm pissed, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm mad.
Sam, who do you want?
I'm going to take my ball and go home until
I don't know if I have a burning desire. To me, all the guys that I really like and want are gone. I mean, I would love Jalen Royals. Jalen Royals, sign me up. I'd be hype on that. A running back would be interesting. I don't want Savion Williams. I do not like Savion Williams, so I do not want Savion. I do not want Tay Felton. I do not want Jalen whatever the other Jalen's name is. Virginia Tech guy, the Jalen Lane.
Former MTSU Blue Raider.
I mean, I could be curious on an edge on like seeing what they have there, but we'll see. We'll see. Xavier Watts wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I'd be into Xavier Watts, I think.
By the way, like the show. If you have not liked the show yet, do it, please, because a lot of people are watching right now, and not a lot of people have liked it. So you guys should like the show, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. My
short list that comes to mind as I watch this Ashton Genty commercial and still do not look at the chat. Xavier Watts, Caleb Johnson would be interesting. Jalen Royals would be interesting. Yeah. I mean, okay. Give me a different edge and maybe like see what the edge is. I'm not sure. Depending on the edge player.
I love on the ESPN graphic under key departures, the first person listed is Mason Rudolph.
Big locker room guy.
That's what I'm told.
Yeah.
That's what I'm told.
I mean, big downgrade.
Jared Wilson would be
who? All right. Interesting. Why is this taking forever?
I know, right?
They just got to get their ad time in. Here we go. We're back. Coming from commercial, getting ready to go to the podium. They're showing Cam Ward still. Yeah. This happened yesterday. He signed his jersey, number 1.
Nailed it. Nailed the whole number 1 thing. I don't think I've got enough credit for that. Just being super.
I think you've got
clairvoyant.
The perfect amount of.
I have not.
I have not got enough credit for it.
Yeah, I knew it before Warren Moon knew it. How about that? That's impressive.
Let's see. We've got somebody walking out now, do we? What's going on? Yeah, here we go. Coming to the podium. Look at those Titans fans having a ball.
Man, this is taking forever.
I know. They are really dragging their feet.
Are really.
I have known the pick for 5 years.
It's crazy.
Select.
Who is walk faster?
Evan Winston Jr., safety out of Penn State.
The player I said the league liked more than folks think.
Okay. The Penn State safety?
A good pick. Not deeply inspiring by any means, but a good pick, in my opinion.
Over Watts?
Yeah, Stan, they ruined our X squared.
Oh, I see. That's the only question I have about it, Sam. But like again, this has been a thing for a couple of weeks now that in PFF, the folks over at PFF, Trevor Sikkema in particular, has been preaching about, frankly, on his show. The league loves Kevin Winston Jr., and here's all the reasons why. So there'll probably be some good content that we can go pull from him. But this is a guy that was seen as in that tier with Watts, in this tier of potential day 2 safeties. Because he's safety 4 or 5 off the board now, something like that. And so the Titans. I think that, this immediately brings me back to the conversations we had. What?
The Steelers.
You're talking about Shedeur time?
I think it might be Shedeur time.
All right. Well, you keep an eye on that while I talk. I think back to Austin, our conversations, which we've had a number of times about how the Titans defense last year, fell apart when they lost their star safety and star linebacker. And star linebacker may still be a very big question, obviously. But I do think that this is a move to go and get a quote unquote quarterback of the defense that they have needed. And to Sam's point, as we talked about Nick Emenwari on the won't pass on lists the other day, while they don't need a starting safety technically, they really do need a third guy, and they need a guy that is the safety of the future. Quote unquote.
Both
and that's what
safeties are on expiring contracts.
Exactly. So, right.
The Steelers took Caleb Johnson, the running back out of Iowa, so he is finally off the board at number 83. Here's the rundown from.
So Caleb Johnson changes nothing from his closet. That's good to know.
Yeah.
Black and yellow, baby.
Colors. Here is the rundown from NFL.com on Kevin Winston.
I've got one too when you're ready.
And by the way, kind of similar. Again, you'll hear a word right here at the beginning of this breakdown that will be very similar.
Yeah.
He is talented, but relatively inexperienced is the first sentence out of this breakdown. Due to a season-ending injury in 2024, He has NFL size and traits, but is lacking instincts and recognition, lacking in the instincts and recognition column in the back end. He's better when he's engaged in playing forward, where his play strength and consistency as a tackler stands out. He can cover both inline and slot tight ends and hassle their catch space, but he struggles with anticipation and footwork when asked to play on top of the defense. Safeties with traits and tackle talent usually stick around as starters, but Winston might be somewhat limited unless he develops his field recognition enough to handle NFL passing schemes.
So I've got Destin Adams' A to Z blurb on Kevin Winston Jr. An intriguing evaluation. Had only 1 full year as a starter in his 3 college seasons. Started all 13 of Penn State's games in 2023. Saw this season end just after 2 games with the knee injury, like you just mentioned. Was a team captain for the first time ahead of this past season. And many around the league believe that his best football is still very much ahead of him. Solid athlete, extremely intelligent player who wasn't penalized a single time in his college career. I don't think he should be placed in a single high situation early on in his career, but Winston has a lot of potential to grow as a cover specialist. So here's what I'm going to add about Winston and Oladejo is they're both 21 years old.
Yep.
And they're both going to be 21 years old in their rookie seasons.
And both apparently have their best football ahead of them.
And that is what Borgonzi, Brinker, Callahan have said. It's not about 2025. I don't even know if these guys are about 2026, but these guys are 3 years down the road looking for high ceiling players that might have lower floors, which is the opposite of what I was honestly expecting to support Cam Ward as your franchise quarterback.
Got some super chats here. Amnesia says, same damn bull crap from last year. Let's avoid a young wide receiver again. Why are we not getting youth at wide receiver? Big Ten Jeff says, Titans wait until Cam year 3 to draft Jeremiah Smith. And then Andre says, well, 6 years since a meaningful wide receiver before day 3. That trade back ended up deflating for him. First pick was great. Today has been putrid. Can I take my victory lap on the trade back?
Please go ahead.
Because I hated the trade back in the moment for this very reason, that you would miss out opportunities to grab high impact wide receivers, high impact edges. And what I think we're finding out, I will say, is that the Titans don't care. Like, they don't care about guys that are going to play well for them this year, which goes back to another victory lap that I can take over a very heated debate that I had with Easton like 2 months ago.
What?
I don't think they care about 2025 as like a win season. I think they care about it as a developmental season. And I think that these are picks where they're taking swings on developmental guys that they're projecting. Like, they just took 2 guys today that won't start for them this season. 2 guys that won't start at the beginning of the year in week 1 that will work in on
week 1. Sure. Fine.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe,
you might start because of an injury, or you might get
I don't think Winston Jr. starting unless one of those.
Oh, I'll make you that bet right now that both of those guys are starting by the end of the year.
By merit or by injury? I mean,
either.
Well, injury doesn't count, Easton. Like, who was the starting safety in December of last year?
Okay.
Then by merit, and the bet is voided if somebody gets hurt.
So this was, this was my, this was targeted, by the way. They just showed maybe the worst Cam Ward highlight ever on the draft broadcast, talking about this Cal DB. They showed the play where Cam rolled to his right and chucked the ball up in the air, free balled it for a pick 6, like all the way across the field. That was targeted. You didn't need to show that for Noel Williams. That was
like, how is that like a good play by the corner? He caught a punt. Like, what is that?
He
didn't do anything.
The ball right at him. Yeah. I mean, this to me, though, this was the fear that I had when they did this trade back, is that, this is their philosophy. This is their mindset. They want to get these high swing guys. I think this falls into the bucket that Easton was talking about earlier, that Savion Williams would also fall into, of just we're going to try to develop him. We're going to look at these tools and we're going to bet on ourselves. But I don't know if that means week 1 impact. And I had an expectation, or a hope at least, coming into tonight that they would get week 1 impact guys. Does not seem like that's what they're prioritizing, though.
I certainly disagree with the idea that Femi Oladejo is not going to be a week 1 impact guy. I think that he is. I think that for some reason you're wildly overestimating the juice the Titans have at edge outside of Femi right now.
Well, he will play, but
he is easily their best edge player today, right now.
Oh, I don't agree with that at all. I think he's their third best today.
I think that's crazy. Here's what I'll say. I don't find any of this particularly surprising. I think it aligns with a lot of the things that we've heard, a lot of the things that we've talked about, a lot of the things that we've reported here. Something that I talked about a month ago and have kind of repeatedly said, and wish I hadn't been sucked into the idea that receiver could go earlier. Not to be fair, receiver could have gone. And I've been talking to folks in the Titans building. It's not like they've been hardline anti-receiver in day 2. That's not been a thing. But what I was told about a month ago, and we've been talking about here on the show, is that like their general plan is to target some mid-round receivers, and they got a pair of 4ths and a pair of 5ths. And I will eat my shorts if tomorrow they don't come out of round 4 and 5 with a receiver or 2. Like I think that has to happen, right?
But I don't want Dez Fitzpatrick.
Hang on.
That's the thing. He's like, it doesn't matter if you go and get 2 receivers in the 5th round. Like, we don't care. We want guys that are going to be good.
Hang on. I understand that. I mean, I'm literally the one that went on the show the other day did a whole topic about how day 3 receivers aren't awesome in their rookie year. So you're preaching to the choir here. I'm not saying that they're going to be good. What I am saying is that I think that this aligns with their plan, that they view this as a multi-year rebuild, that they want to target the trenches first, and they want to focus on guys that are going to be their biggest impact in year 2 and year 3 of their rookie contracts. And so I understand a lot of the qualms you guys have with these picks, but ultimately for me, what matters most when you look at the draft as a whole and not just focus in on under the microscope one pick after the other is there a clear vision here? And to me, this aligns with exactly what they've been telling us this entire time. And it's a little bit on us for not putting it together the right way, to be honest with you, because I don't think that this is out of line with what they've been talking about for months at this point.
But so here, I don't disagree with that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, and to your credit, you had acknowledged this earlier, but like clear vision does not mean smart vision. It just means a clear vision.
Sure.
Yeah, you can stick to the plan, but be stubborn and sticking to it.
Hey, the Lions have a very clear vision this evening.
I like the general idea. Where I have issue is, like, to me, the whole develop, bet on traits, do this, like, take your shots, bet on your coaching. That's what you do in day 3. And that's what Mike Borgonzi said in day 3. I went back and looked at the quote when I was writing my article for A2ZSports.com, and he said, the part of the drafting process projecting like 2 to 3 years from now what they're going to be. So for us, it's what's this player going to look like in year 2 or 3? And that's really where I think good teams separate themselves in the later rounds when you're really digging on talent. If this is what they were doing tomorrow on rounds 4 and 5, and you were telling me that there was upside on players who had tools, I would give you a big thumbs up and be like, hell yeah, I trust the Borgonzi vision. But like, this was your 2nd round pick that's now turning into developmental pieces. And I think for Titans fans, that's like the word again, but underwhelming. Like this idea of we're trying to do draft and develop guys that are 2-3 year plans in round 2, while other teams are grabbing these big name guys that are going to help them and be big names on Sundays this year.
Yeah. I just go back to, you drafted Cam Ward and now he's going to throw to Calvin Ridley.
Cool, bro. Tyler Lockett fantasy stock way up.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously.
Who were we told that they studied at the combine? We were told that they studied the build of the Commanders last year, who intentionally went into the season with no receiver options. This is, again, none of this is surprising to me.
I mean, you say no receiver options, but they had 2 options for Jaden Daniels that are better than the 2 top Titans options.
So far, fair, but also the Titans have 2
Terry
options.
McLaurin and Zach Ertz are way better than what the Titans have.
I just said that's fair.
On top of
way better than Ridley. I disagree. They are. I would agree that
the 2 combo. The combo of McLaurin and Ertz are more quarterback friendly than the combo of Ridley and.
Have you forgotten the guy they signed 2 years ago? Yes, or 2 days ago. Yeah.
No, I know, but like, is that your Zach? Is Lockett your Zach Ertz? Like
right now, yeah, it has to be right now. Yeah,
I get you.
So I agree that it is, but again, they are liable to add help tomorrow that I think may change the picture a little bit. And the ultimate bottom line for me is that they have said that there's a chance they go into this year with subpar wide receiver help, but they've clearly chosen to, they have said we'd rather be better on the offensive line than at the skill positions. And that's something we're okay with living in year 1.
Be better. I think they're better on the O-line than the receiver because they went veteran offensive line, which was smart. You go veteran O-line to protect your rookie quarterback, and then you give him just a young piece to throw to start from rookie minicamp for the next 4 years. Be aligned with the second or the day 2 wide receiver with your number 1 quarterback. Like,
I don't know. I just think that's too hardline thinking again. Do you want them to draft BPA or not? Because again, they could have gone receiver there, but if they had Winston Jr. as clearly their best player and they have a need at safety, what would you like them to do? Here's my thought.
Like, the Winston, like when you asked me who do I want, and I was like, I don't care. I was pouting, I was joking, right? Because all the receivers that I coveted were no longer available because they were all available at 52 and they all went off the board from like 65 to 81.
Okay, so fine. So at 52, if Femi is clearly their best player available and is at a position that is arguably a bigger need than receiver, the only position that might be a bigger need than receiver, what would you like them to do? Just say, but receiver's more sexy, so we'll go receiver?
I think supporting Cam Ward is a bigger need than anything else on defense.
Davion Williams just went
so you see, right, a bigger need. So you would, say, heard.
Sorry.
So you think that the need to support Cam Williams surpasses their philosophy of drafting the best players.
Yes,
and that's fine.
I think, that's
so you're anti their philosophy. So naturally, you're going to dislike what they're doing tonight.
Yes.
Okay, well then I wish we would have known that at the top. We would have known that Austin would have disliked the things they were going to do.
No, I think that is the simple way of describing it, right? Because that's like ultimately what I settled on, right? Too is like this is their philosophy, which is that they don't care about the immediate impact of, like, not that they don't care, right? But that they would rather swing on traits and long-term projectability than immediate impact at positions, which is something that I disagree with for where they're picking today. And so because of that, I'm going to disagree with a lot of the way that they viewed that today and like their objectives today, right? But if you are a believer in that vision, if you are a believer in that, then you obviously are gonna be a bigger fan of this. So
I just think that, like, I don't care about the edge rusher if your number 1 quarterback doesn't have enough to throw to, like that, because it's the whole league matters about the quarterback. And the whole league is all about the quarterback being successful. And so if you're going to draft the quarterback number 1 overall and he is your guy, you fell in love with him, it was a consensus decision, then you have to do everything you possibly can to make sure he has the best opportunity to succeed from day 1. It also sets up multi-years down the road.
It's a pretty stark contrast to the trend that we had pointed out, right? Like all of the teams, the last
5
teams
the last 5 teams,
the first quarterback off the board had also taken a big swing at wide receiver in the same offseason. The Titans kind of doing the exact opposite and deprioritizing wide receiver after drafting Cam Ward. So
a little bit of a side note, but here's a quote from Nick Saban on the Titans' new safety, Kevin Winston. Quote, "If he wasn't injured last year and could have played his whole college career, he would have been a first-round draft pick."
I don't hate Kevin Winston.
I'm just sharing that with the audience.
Yeah. I think I am the combination of how the board fell after going Oladejo at 52 instead of a wide receiver at 52 is what I'm disappointed in, because you missed on. So now you're going day 3 wide receiver, and like the day 3 wide receiver that is most worked out for the Titans was Tajay Sharp in 2016.
Yeah, I mean, I'm somebody that is a fan of some of the receiver options still left on the board, so I'm not as dismissive of the idea of, I mean, like if you told me that they managed to still land Ayumanor or Horton, for example, at the top of the 4th round, or Xavier Restrepo for what it's worth, the guy that Cam Ward was one of the 2 guys that he told the Titans front office that he would like them to go get. I'm not as distraught as you guys are about the receiving situation. I do think it is fair. Again, I'm not saying that this is a smart thought of theirs, but I'm just trying to get in the heads of the Titans thinking right now.
Yeah, I get you.
I do think that it's fair at this point to wonder if this new version of the front office and the coaching staff in unison think a little bit more highly of the options that they came into this with. When we're talking about the tight end duo, we're talking about the running back duo, and we're talking about Calvin Ridley, like those 5 players that we know individually all have potential as like useful NFL weapons. each of them does. Some of them have lived up to it, some of them have not, and some of them have been really up and down. Really, only one of them has been a surefire hit, right? And that's
Bryce
Tony.
Oliver.
But
not who I'm talking about. But
what you're saying is that they're big on Bryce Oliver, is what you're saying.
I wasn't actually referring to that at all. I'm saying between Ridley, Pollard, Spears, Wiley, and Shig, those 5 players.
I don't think this coaching staff is big on Ridley after what they saw from him last year.
I'm saying, I mean, I don't know. I think that this behavior is reflective of them being more comfortable with those, maybe not all 5 of them, but that group of weapons, thinking that's a more serviceable group than maybe fans think. And again, maybe that's the dumbest thing ever, but I'm just trying to.
No, you're trying to justify it.
Wyatt Milam just went to the Jags.
I'm trying to think about what they're going to come to this to the podium and tell us, right?
Yeah, I get you. And that's, they're going to say they trust the guys. They're going to say, this is how the board fell. We went best player available. We're looking big picture. We're not just focused on one thing. They're going to say all those things. And I'm probably not going to care. Most of the time, I don't care what GMs and head coaches say about draft picks right after the fact, because they're always going to say, we really coveted this guy.
That's fair.
Cliche left and right and up and down. And that's just what they're going to do. But it's what happens.
You were right. Never, ever, 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 ever care what a coach or general manager, anybody says about a draft pick that they just made, because that's their baby. They just drafted him.
Yes.
That. They love that.
I do give them credit for what they said. What they said pre-draft and what they're doing now makes sense. So I give them credit for following that. And I just think they messed up at 52. I think they did the right thing of trading out of 35. And they had an opportunity to go wide receiver at 52, check a very important box, in my opinion.
Who'd you want to take at 52?
I mean,
because if your answer is no, then they're taking. I mean, literally, we just saw that would have been a 30 pick overreach.
I mean, but would we have all applauded it?
Yeah, but
so what does it matter?
But in league circles, and maybe in the way that it's going to pan out, we'll see what Noel does for the Texans. Who, by the way, are the Texans going to keep 8 receivers? Holy cow!
Yeah. But again, that was kind of what I talked about a couple weeks ago when I was bringing up the Devondre Sweat thing of, if you're stuck at 35, who cares if you reach if you get a good football player? Get a good football player.
Sure.
And is Jalen Noel a good football player? Is Jalen Noel a good football player who's going to help day one in offense because of how he plays? He's a polished receiver who can do a lot of things. He's versatile. He's a hard worker. He's tough. He catches the damn ball. Give me that guy.
I think so too, but when literally the entire league disagrees with me, it makes me pause.
Yeah, he's 5'9", whatever. He's,
Do we think that the Kevin Winston pick had anything to do with the fact that he went to the same high school as Denard Wilson?
A little bit. I mean, I think he probably had a lot of background checks that checked out.
Yeah.
So, if they're going to fly to Pullman, Washington, and fly to Incarnate Word, then Denard's going to call his old principal and check him out.
Stoked tonight, Denard Wilson. Good night, Denard Wilson.
A good note from John Glennon, and a little bit of I got to knock John Glennon in here because he said random Titans nugget, newly drafted safety Kevin Winston went to the same high school, DeMatha, as DC Denard Wilson. Great nugget, not random, very relevant. You don't have to pin that as just random nugget I'm throwing out there. No, that's actually super pertinent information. That
also DeMatha is a freaking factory. Probably.
Random nugget. This guy played receiver with Cam Ward in high school.
Right. It's
okay.
Random nugget. Nick Holtz. He was Brian Callahan's receiver in high school. They've known each other for a really long time. Random nugget has
super coinky dink there.
Yeah, they're actually really good friends and have a great relationship and communication style between the two of them. Random nugget, though. We're throwing that out there.
Hilarious. No, I mean, funny for Glennon, but I'm underwhelmed. I don't hate the Winston pick. I don't like the fact that the Oladejo pick created the Winston pick.
I will say the one thing that
the domino effect of missing. They missed on a wide receiver at 52 and got stuck in a spot where nobody was on the board at an offensive weapon worth taking.
I'm sorry, but this is a great bit. Both of you saw the Cam Ward Fortnite video, right? Where he was naming the best receivers in the league.
Yeah.
My buddy Robert Greenlaw tweeted, bummed about not drafting a receiver early until I remember we just added Tyler Lockett to a wide receiver group that already had 2 of the 4 best receivers in the league. That's a good point.
Yeah, they're
you got 2 of the best 4, and then Tyler Lockett. That's a pretty good group.
And Burks better be a threat. I got bad news.
Burks ain't gonna be on the team, brother.
Threat for what?
I got bad news for Ryan Fields.
Ryan Fields paid $199 for a bummer of news.
No, it was a funny comment though.
It was a good comment, Ryan.
Laugh. It made us laugh. Eric says, "Hell froze over. Easton is finally making sense. Easton makes sense all the time.
All
What the hell
I
you
do
guys
is
talking
make
about?
sense, Eric. How dare you?
That's
All
ridiculous."
right, amnesia. Let's get to this one. So when Callahan gets fired and Ward goes into year 2 with a new head coach and a whole new crew of wide receivers, where exactly is the development Cam needs youth to build chemistry with to help his development? I think you make the case for the why teams have taken that big swing at wide receiver in the past, because growing a new wide receiver, doing, hey, Caleb Williams, here's Roma Dunze. Hey, insert quarterback that was drafted before Caleb Williams.
There's not Bryce Young, Terrence Marshall. Not all great ideas.
Terrence Marshall.
Jonathan Mingo. Sorry,
Both of you are wrong. It wasn't Leggett either.
It was
Jonathan Mingo.
Leggett's closer than friggin' Terrence Marshall, but both are wrong.
He was a 2nd-round pick from the SEC to Carolina, so I wasn't that far off.
No, like you use those examples, right? It's like, all right, well, now you can grow with this guy for a period.
Okay, can I completely
debunk
debunk my entire argument and just self-sabotage myself? My entire
is it relevant to the super chat? Because
yes, it is.
Okay, then go ahead.
It is. Cam Ward has played at 3 schools in 5 years with 3 different sets of skilled players, where he has come in and immediately gotten on the same page with these guys.
I don't think that debunks your argument, though. I don't think that debunks your argument at all.
I think a little bit.
Cam Ward's ability to get on the same page as wide receivers is separate from Cam Ward having capable wide receivers. I think that's different. To get to the rest of that comment, he talked about, well, what happens when Callahan's fired and there's new receivers next year. I think that's why, one of my biggest things this offseason, if you were going to fire Rand and bring in a new GM and Mike Borgonzi, was you have to remain patient with the coaching staff. You have to, if you're going to draft a quarterback, you have to remain patient. It is a sabotage to the entire organization, top to bottom, if you keep doing this revolving door. And if you get 1 year down the road and Cam Ward doesn't work out, and then Borgonzi wants his new guy and he fires Brian Callahan, it's terrible for Cam Ward's development and for the trajectory of the organization. So the Titans need to remain patient.
All right. Wes Romero has just had the most optimistic comment of the night. Finney's a first rounder if he switched to edge last spring. Winston's a first round talent as well. Sneaky good day too, considering how Sam and Easton were talking about not having many on defense locked down on Wednesday.
So this is actually what I was going to say before we got sidetracked by those super chats. I was going to say, to the thing that I did ask for, one thing that they did do was lock in some defensive talent that they project to be part of their defensive future.
You said this should be a defensive draft, didn't you? I mean, you said it's time for some defense.
You did.
Round 2, and very specifically, I wanted instant impact guys, so that's where this is sort of a disconnect to me.
You heard the guy, a pair of first rounders.
Yeah, but
they have 3 first rounders in this draft.
That's a great draft.
But part of the reason I was so pumped about, Eminwari or whatever at 35 is because I just think he's a stud. He makes your defense so much better. And now he's a defensive player that is in your defense for at least 4 years, hopefully way more. And, you are starting to add with all of the investment that they've done on offense. I know we're upset about wide receiver. I know we would like them to go and get Cam Ward a wide receiver, but they paid Calvin Ridley. They used a first-round pick on Traylon Burks. They used a first-round pick on J.C. Latham and Peter Skoronski. It doesn't have to work for them to have been so offense heavy the last many, many years. They first round pick Peter Skoronski, first round pick JC Latham, paid Dan Moore, paid Lloyd Cushenberry, paid Calvin Ridley, paid Tony Pollard. These guys are starters. They used the number 1 overall pick on a quarterback. They have been offense. Brian Callahan's supposed to be a big offense guy. You better figure out how to score points with that group, with all that they've invested there, even if you don't have the best wide receiver core ever. And then as far as defense is concerned, it is about time that they picked up a couple defensive players, because the only guy right now you have is Tavondre Sweat and maybe Jarvis Brownlee, who you're confident 3-4 years from now will be on this team.
Well said.
So that is a plus. That is a plus of the day, is that they just added 2 guys to that equation. That 2027 new stadium, new uniform that we talked about, both of these guys should be in it, and it should be in the starting players in this defense.
You better hope everybody from this draft class is in that, because that's just year 3.
Jalen Milroe to the Seahawks. Jalen Milroe to the Seahawks.
Shedeur Sanders, quarterback 5.
Jalen Milroe at the draft just went to the Seahawks at number 92.
At what point does this constitute bullying? Like, the league is battering the Sanders
this is
around.
I'm getting close to like investigating for collusion.
I actually think we're getting the chance that Shiloh gets drafted before Shedeur. Like,
I mean, if tomorrow starts, it's not. Is
Shedeur going to be
tomorrow is not that far away, Sam.
UDFA of all time? Is he about to be the highest paid UDFA of all time? By the way, I didn't mean to crap too hard on that comment earlier. The idea that they like, yes, 3 first-rounders. You know who probably does think that? The Titans front office. They probably do think that these guys would have been like, send both these guys back to school, first-rounders next year.
Cam Ward.
Was that way?
I'm sorry. I can't believe Jalen Milroe just got taken over Shedeur Sanders. I'm
at 92. I'd do it too. I would take. This is
Malik Willis territory we're in right here.
I mean, but like,
the Saints are on the clock at 93. They could just take Shedeur here, man.
They already got.
Well, no, they have shot. Oh no, never mind. The Browns are at 94.
The Browns are at 94.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen? What's next? Are we gonna get Quinn? Could Quinn go over? Quinn Ewers over?
They showed Quinn. Quinn's in that wacko room today.
Will Howard, Riley Leonard's gonna go ahead of. Tyler Brosmer is going to go ahead of Shedeur Sanders. Who's it going to be next?
Quinn Ewers gets drafted over Shedeur Sanders.
Who did I say? Tyler Brosmer? Yeah. Max, my bad.
Sorry,
haven't done a lot of Max Brosmer prep. My bad.
If Max Brosmer goes before Shedeur, cancel the draft. Like,
start it over. Redo.
Hey, I mean, once upon a time, the franchise in Washington drafted a really high quarterback and then drafted another quarterback in the 4th round the same year, and the 4th round pick ended up doing pretty well.
What's the
Do you think the Sanders family has like a
4 minutes ago? Shedeur Sanders just tweeted, "Thank you God for everything." So either he's going to the Browns at 94.
No, he tweets that randomly all the time.
Or he found out about the Jalen Milroe pick and thought it was a time to thank God because he was.
Well, he's like, not going to Seattle.
Do you think the Sanders camp has like a documentary crew at their custom thing that like is getting really sad, and they're like, "Should we keep filming this?"
No, I watched a video with Travis Hunter last night, and I think it was the Bussin' with the Boys 2-minute drill, 2-minute drill, and he was like, "All right, 30 seconds to thank people," and he was like thanking people, and he was like thanking my cameraman. I was like, "You got a cameraman?" Like I'm just thinking of like thanking your cameraman.
That's insane. I also thank my cameraman everywhere I go.
So the idea that you just brought up, Easton, is a fun one that I like to think about during March Madness every year. We see these bubble teams that they're like, "Yeah, we're in," and I'm like, can you cut to the bubble team that just was like first one out? Like, they threw this big old party, got ESPN there with cameras just to be told like, "Hey, sorry guys, we're actually we're gonna go with North Carolina for the 28th."
Yeah,
sorry.
So tough.
Like,
yeah.
So,
and yes, and I'm not on the broadcast. Oh, I actually am on the broadcast, and there's Mel Kiper on it, but apparently I don't have volume loud enough to hear it.
Crashing out.
He's having a meltdown apparently.
By the way, I know you guys are podcast guys that listen to like podcasts on like 1.5 speed. Have you ever listened to Mel Kiper Jr. on 1.5 speed?
It's awesome.
It is wild.
It's a ride.
It is a trip. Yes, it is going so fast.
Oh man, the Saints at 93. Pick is coming out now.
Somebody has the Titans gloves up behind the game day set.
Here's something.
Jonas Sanker just went, which is actually a good pick for the Saints. But I saw this woman go Sanger, and I thought she said Sanders, and I was like, no way, they did not just go
double up.
Do double up QB. Titans can still do it. 103.
Just have 5 quarterbacks.
No, you know. Although Levis trade the destination off the table with Seattle, by the way. Bummer.
Yeah,
that's one of them.
That's interesting. Let's talk that for a second.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. Wow.
That Levis could get traded.
Yeah, I've heard just about him in general, his existence.
No, he's a quarterback in the room.
That's what I've heard.
He's young. He's developing.
In
the room.
So yeah, Seattle was one of Easton and I's favorite spots for Levis to go in a potential trade. The Rams are another team that's on that list. For me, I think he could make a lot of sense there. Where were the other spots? Minnesota is
Tampa
still
Bay,
Tampa, Minnesota, Miami, maybe. But
I'll pull up my article about it.
Pittsburgh hasn't done anything yet, have they?
Cleveland's pick is in. I guess it's good that they ended up getting Mason Graham because their next two picks being Quinshon Judkins and Harold Fannin is so Browns. And it's just, I love it. And I hope they take Shador right here. No.
There's no way that they're
the Browns
another quarterback.
They took Dylan Gabriel. They took
Shador Sanders, quarterback 6.
I thought that was. I legitimately thought chat was pranking. I thought
it's real. Wow.
What do we do? Hey,
did they forget he's on the board?
Jake Evans told me my Shador falling in the draft thing wouldn't be relevant after tonight.
Yeah, Jake.
Yeah. Guess whose video looks good now?
Still relevant, loser.
You can probably just resubmit it.
Yeah, run it back tomorrow morning, dude. What?
Holy
heck?
This is a prank.
I mean, this is truly, like, I brought it up at the beginning of the show, but this is truly unprecedented. Like,
yes,
a guy who was,
now we are. Yeah.
Like, we are beyond Malik territory at this point.
Well, because Malik was like the third quarterback, right?
He was QB3, and in the 80s, we're in the 90s, approaching the 4th round on QB6 for a guy who was a month ago in legitimate conversation to go number 1 overall. What did he say in those meetings? I need the tape released.
You know what's crazy?
Ryan Callahan, tell me you had on those spy glasses with a camera right here and you recorded the Shador Sanders meeting and you need to leak the footage, brother. Get it out to TMZ. I will pay some of my Survivor money to see that footage.
Okay. So a sum. I'll do that.
I will pay some of the money.
You know what's wild?
Jake says, guess so, to the idea that the Sanders video still plays.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? In what was it, January, when there was conversation about Dion getting the Cowboys job and the Cowboys wanted to trade up from 12 to 1 for Shador as Dion the head coach. That was January. The Cowboys just let McCarthy go. Dion was flirting to be the head coach, and they were going to trade up from 12 to 1 for Shador and all this stuff.
The mighty have certainly fallen. I mean, this is either literally the most fuel to the fire that anybody could ever need to go and have like a legendary career, or it's just a really, really sad sputtering out of what was the Shador Sanders era.
So,
like, I don't like. All right. Saying, can we get El Gersma before Sanders? Can we get the Canadian Cutler going before Sanders? What do you think about that, Easton?
I mean, Dylan Gabriel is
the Canadian Cutler, Elsmenga.
Can we get El Zangma or whatever his name is?
No, get lost. He's a CFL player through and through. Stay in Canada.
I got to hear this Dylan Gabriel pick. I got to hear Mel Kiper's reaction.
This is insane, guys. Like,
oh, Mel literally let out an oh my goodness. He said, "Oh my goodness."
Mel looks bad, man. I was listening to you know how Todd McShay used to do these. You know how McShay used to do the best available board.
I just heard the oh.
So McShay used to do the best available board, right? And I was listening to his podcast this week about how he feels so free because this is the first year in years he hasn't been able to or had to do it like that for the TV broadcast. And He's like, to be honest, like the inside baseball of it is that I'll make my big board based on my scouting and my intel. And then I'll kind of talk to teams and I'll move some guys like 4, 5, 10 spots based on where they're actually going to go. Because he's like, I got to protect against a guy being the best available for, 20 spots and just sitting there. It's like embarrassing for him. He's like, so you got to do that when you're doing this. So Mel is probably losing his mind that he has picked.
And it sucks, right?
No,
like
it does. But
it
he's
does
picked
suck.
the worst family of all time to piss off with this.
But like, he's in the corner. Like, it's like,
it doesn't matter. He's embarrassed them by doing this. He has embarrassed them.
What was he supposed to do? They would have been pissed if he wasn't ranked.
No, he was screwed. You're right. He was screwed either way. You're totally right.
I gotta know, did ESPN, so when we were at the Titans facility today for the press conference, right? ESPN sent representation down to Nashville to be at St. Thomas Sports Park, to talk to Cam Ward, to be present, to do all of this stuff. Did ESPN, please tell me ESPN has somebody at the Sanders house?
Yeah, they do. Because they've got a camera set up in there. They've
that
shown
person. That's my dream job. Like today, I need to be the ESPN guy who's sitting there watching the awkwardness of the Sanders household as Dylan Gabriel and Tyler Shuck and who else went? Which other quarterbacks went? As all these quarterbacks, Jalen
Milroe, Gabriel, Ward, and
like imagine being that ESPN person. You walked in.
Oh, Dart, first round quarterback.
Imagine being that guy. You walk into the room, whatever. You're like, hey, Dion, hey, Prime, what's going on? Hey, Shador, great to meet you, man. Really? Hey, listen, don't worry about yesterday. Okay, it happens to a lot of people. What's important is that you're gonna find a great team for you today, and you're gonna have a great career. And we're confident in that. And it's like, yeah, appreciate you. And then you just watch the air get let out of the room as it slowly goes. Am I talking to myself here? You guys are both.
No, sorry. Right. I hear you. Yeah, sorry.
I'm working on something.
All right.
Keep going, Sam. What else you got?
Jared Wilson just went to the Patriots. Mike Vrabel.
Oh, like that. He's got his new toughest $2 steak. Yeah.
What were you guys working on?
I'm trying to figure out
I've got something.
Sam, do you remember off the top of your head who talks tonight for the Titans?
Tonight it is going to be
Borgonzi?
No.
Okay. I'll go look it up. It's fine.
Ziegler and McKenzie.
That's right. Did we ever hear from Borgonzi? Last night?
No.
Was that last night we had Borgonzi?
No, tomorrow is various scouts. Today, Ziegler and McKenzie, I'm pretty sure.
I
think.
I got something. You guys want to see? Somebody DM me this on Twitter. Do you guys want to see what our faces looked like when we saw Dylan Gabriel go over?
Oh, I knew it was going to be a screenshot.
Oh, no.
You ready?
Oh no! Tweet that. That's funny.
Hang that in the load. Yeah,
that's great.
Dylan Gabriel over Shador Sanders.
I'm trying to hide somehow.
And I mean, this is just three people that are so stunned that they're having the best time.
It's a ball.
So shocking that it literally becomes funny.
Shout out Austin Lamers.
Austin Lamers, that's great. Thank you.
That's what I was working on when I stopped paying attention to what Sam was saying.
Yeah, please tweet that from the A to Z account. It's so good.
All right. Oh,
we are almost triple digits. Do the Raiders have a quarterback?
Is he there? He might be the spot, honestly.
Well, we've got two. Xavier Watts just went to the Falcons at 96.
So I'm going to ask Twitter for caption this wrong answers only, and we'll see what we get out of that.
I will say, so two picks here. Maybe these are the Shador picks. Minnesota and Vegas. Why not Minnesota?
Good question.
Back up JJ.
I mean, the why not insert any team at this point, honestly? Because again, we are beyond the talent of it all. Like,
well, it's interesting too, Easton. You brought up the idea that like teams have now figured out taking shots at quarterback is fine and like worth doing.
Here's what you do.
We're beyond the on-field evaluation. This is about the Sanders family. This is a blackballing. It has to be. This is we don't want to deal with your shit, Dion. That's what it is.
You know what it is? So like the Vikings would be a terrible spot for this
because the Vikings just traded their pick to Houston.
So the only place at this point that Shedeur Sanders can go is a team that has an established starter. Because if the Vikings took him, just like you said, to go with JJ, then there's so much attention and distraction on Shedeur when the whole idea is for JJ McCarthy to be your guy. And so where are those spots now? Like truly that there is that the distraction of the Sanders stuff.
No, yeah, Easton's on it. Like this is not Shedeur's not capable. This is not Shedeur had a bad meeting and there was a red flag. This is we don't want to deal with it. It's not worth it.
I mean, you're talking about Kansas City. You're talking about Buffalo, Cincinnati. You're talking about those are the spots that Shedeur is going to go and not be a distraction from the guy.
Guys, in the past 3 months of this draft cycle, I have had one person inside an NFL building tell me one somewhat juicy thing off the record about Sanders and the Sanders process. And after telling me that thing, the thing that they immediately said was, you cannot repeat that. We don't want to deal with the Sanders thing. We don't want to deal with the news of it. How many buildings do you think that's the sentiment in? All of them? Probably all of them.
Well, it's the uniqueness of the NFL in the sense that people have felt that way for a while.
But when that person told that to me some time ago, I thought like, oh, haha, or maybe they're just being like protective or over conservative, or maybe this one building is like that. And now I'm like, I kind of think that was just the thing.
Well, people have felt that way for a very a long time. College football is unique in the sense that college football is all about money. All of it is about money. And in order to, as much as you might not want to deal with the Sanders family can make you a ton of money in college football. The NFL is different. The NFL is a standalone entity that don't need nobody. Like the University of Colorado needed the Sanders family more than the Sanders family needed the University of Colorado.
Which is why
NFL team that needs the impact of the Sanders family more than the Sanders family needs them. And this is the league proving it. This is the league showing like we are going to make our money regardless. You are not like above and beyond the rest of this league. You're not bigger than any of these logos. You're not bigger than this institution. And so we're not going to draft you.
So the Raiders have 2 picks in a row.
If it's not here, I'm going to start.
It's not tonight.
It's not going to happen.
Toby brings this up. Colorado retiring his number didn't help. Teams know what they're getting and they don't want it. So like, I want to bring this up a little bit because like Colorado retiring Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter's number is not Shedeur Sanders' fault.
No, Travis Hunter is in
Travis Hunter
family. He's another son of that family.
Yeah, but like,
guess who the third son is? Cam. Not Shiloh, Cam. Yeah. And Cam went 1 and Travis.
Hey, don't forget
I'm gonna rank my sons on the internet.
Don't forget this. There is a Deion Sanders Jr. He is a little bit older, and he does exist, and he has not been getting any of this. So I want to go back to the retiring thing because Sam, your point about college football being about money and how you can elevate a program, those jersey numbers are retired at Colorado not because of what they're going to be in the NFL or what they're not going to be in the NFL. It's because of what they were able to do for Colorado Buffaloes football that was 1-10 and at the bottom of the
ESPN. It was on ESPN damn near every week.
Yeah. And they raised that program from the dead. And that is why the jersey numbers are retired. Not the whole, like, Tom Brady's jersey isn't retired at Michigan. You know why? Because he was pretty average at Michigan. Like, he wasn't, like, that's fair. Like, he wasn't that great. That's a rare one where he was a way better pro than he was in college. If you retire a number in college, I believe you should retire that number based majority of what they did for your university as an athlete there, not what they were in the pros, right? I mean, that's my philosophy.
No, I kind of agree with that. But also, like, sometimes, like, I would say Brady's unique in the sense that some athletes are so good that they redefine how your program is reflected upon because of how good they are as a pro.
But I don't think Brady, like when you think of Tom Brady, you don't think Michigan.
I do. I think Michigan, man.
I don't think that.
He's a
I don't think it
Michigan man
happens.
through. He's a Michigan quarterback.
I don't really think he doesn't have the attachment to Michigan like Peyton Manning does.
Kids are committing to Michigan right now. The #1 overall recruit in all of college football committed to Michigan because he wanted to go where Tom went.
Yeah, well, because Dave Portnoy paid him $10 million.
Well, that may or may not have been a factor too, but
What do you guys think the process is for unretiring a number in college? Like, can Shedeur wear his number again when he has to go back, or does he have to get a new number?
Yeah, sorry, $12 million is what Portnoy paid him.
Thanks, Big Ten Jeff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Big Ten Jeff, that number's been burned into his brain for like the last however many
Big
months.
Ten Jeff cracked his Big Ten accounting book and pulled that one up.
Who is the next quarterback that goes before Sanders here? Are we going to get Seth Hennigan?
No, it's going to be McCord.
It's going to be Quinn Ewers. He's still got that 5-star first overall quarterback.
I think somebody's
Quinn.
It's the same thing.
Quinn.
It's why they did.
He's got 2 left feet. His ankles are put on backwards. Like,
who are the Raiders picking? The
Raiders are picking right now. They're announcing it. Once a Raider, always a Raider. We know.
Yeah.
With the 98th pick.
Come on. Get rid of your shout-outs.
Caleb Rogers, a guard.
Electric.
Well, they got another one coming up, 99. Maybe they made Shedeur the second pick just to,
really rub it in
a little bit longer. Here's the other thing that I have to wonder about. This is a random, y'all hit the like button, man. This is
hey, hit that like button real quick.
So many.
Thanks, Ocho. Appreciate that.
So many people, right? Shedeur has a chip on his shoulder from this, obviously, right? No, okay. I'm not.
He's being crushed under the weight of the things on his shoulders right now.
Yeah. So obviously, like
anvil falls from the sky.
Looney Tunes style.
He's pissed, right? Obviously, he's pissed. If you were the Raiders, right, and you draft him in the 5th round after passing on him like 6 times, how do you sell him on the idea like, dude, we're really stoked to have you. Like, we're really pumped to have you. I know you had to wait a long time, but man, it was meant to be. Like, how do you sell a guy like Shedeur on the idea of, dude, it was meant to be, man. I know. We're really thrilled.
No, you know what it is?
Like,
prove us wrong.
That's a good point, Sam.
No, but again, the NFL would give it to him.
Prove your own team wrong. You're saying we don't believe in you.
Yeah, go prove us wrong. Show us up. Go earn a contract earlier. Beat out whoever the hell they have going on right now.
I don't have the rookie pay scale memorized, but
I
can comfortably say
he's taking a massive pay cut.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Charles Grant, William and Mary off the board.
Let's go back-to-back O-line for the Raiders.
Top 100 out of William and Mary and Shedeur.
That's an unironic great pick, by the way. That's a good pick.
Yeah, I agree. 6'4" and 7/8 inches, by the way.
So Shedeur Sanders is officially, at best, a triple-digit draft pick. A guy we talked about as the potential #1 overall pick an embarrassingly short amount of time ago.
That's what I said. I said off the top. It's crazy. It certainly. He said this draft fall is legendary.
God is good for this draft fall.
Well, you've heard of watching Aaron Rodgers sitting in the green room. I will say I am pissed he didn't come to the draft.
Oh, this is why. I mean, he got some inclination of this, right?
No. Early on, they said they're not doing it. They're doing it at home.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I knew that too.
I wish he would have come to the draft. That would have been hilarious. But I mean, we remember Aaron Rodgers sitting there with the disheveled look on his face. Everybody talks about Brady fell, but Brady didn't really fall. He just wasn't like a prospect like that.
No, I wish he didn't come. If he was still here, this would have quit being funny a long time ago.
Yeah.
This would have been. I mean, it would have been. It would have been ruining everyone's mood for the evening. It would have been really harsh in the vibe.
Because ESPN has no chill, and it would literally be like Mel Kiper talking over just a shot of Shedeur.
Mel Kiper gets up from his seat to go visit him in the green room, like a well visit of a guy that's just sitting there waiting to be drafted.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys? I feel bad for Shedeur.
No, that's what I'm saying. This is not funny
Now,
anymore.
it
Like,
is
I'm
funny,
laughing
but, like,
through the
it's-
pain.
It is funny because it's just so shocking. But if you really think about it, it's very sad for Shador.
Because none of this is his fault.
And like at this,
well,
I
that's
mean-
not true at all. Actually,
Okay.
it's kind of his fault, but he didn't deserve this for whatever he did.
Honestly, you know who should be watching this?
His dad.
No. Well, yeah, but Nick Imaliava.
Nick, oh, that's what I should have known who that was.
somebody said that earlier. Somebody actually said that Shador's getting the Nico treatment right
This
now.
is a preview of what's
I
about to
don't-
happen.
But
this
like,
is proof. Nico is currently
He's cooked.
not draftable.
He's cooked.
Currently
And I'm not sure what he
draftable.
can do this year.
His dad has to get the
I mean,
hell
listen,
out.
Shador just had a season that got his jersey retired. Okay, so I don't know what Nico can do this
Nico
year.
needs to disown his family in his meetings.
No,
Like-
Nico's gonna have to
He's
ball
have a
out
really
with
good year and then go to the combine and be like, I'm really sorry about my dad, but like I don't want him in the picture when I come to your team. And then somebody might be like, okay, good kid. But like like
I
that's
think
what
Nico's a good kid. I do. Like I think I've heard a lot. I think Nico's a good kid. I think his dad is toxic and crazy and selfish. And I think Nico's been given a lot of bad advice and he's not made good decisions on his own either. But I think Nico is going down the Shador Sanders path. Headline printed. I'm texting
Get
More-
Zach Reagan on the phone.
I'm texting that right now.
I want Shador to be a Giant because I think you could argue that the three most obnoxious quarterbacks in the league would then all be in the same quarterback room in like 37-year-old Russell Wilson, Jameson his fifth stop, and Shador after dropping to day 3. That would be the most hilarious combination of quarterbacks possible. I guess Dave Jackson Dart now, so it's ruined. But like that would have been hilarious.
I don't know. He kind of fits in there. I'm not gonna lie.
He kind of, Mr.
he's-
all I know how to do is
Yeah.
clap, John Gruden.
Yeah, you want to
Did
hear my snap count, John?
Did you see that video, Austin?
No.
So John
Oh,
Gruden,
yeah. Clap. Yes, I did.
yeah, and then he said, "Oh, you have decoy clap? Let's hear that." And he just clapped twice. Lane Kiffin has these guys playing fake football.
Lane Kiffin's a domestic terrorist. All right.
He's
He
like,
is.
"You fools."
Okay. All right. Let's not quite a domestic terrorist.
All right, well, you say what you got to say for the company. I stand by what I said.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe towards the game of football, if you want to add that in there.
That's implied.
I think he's got that Hugh Freeze in him.
How dare you talk about my uncle that way?
I mean, he does. I mean, what do we hear about Hugh Freeze? It's like always like brilliant college coach. Anybody he coaches should not play in the NFL whatsoever because it's just so opposite of a pro style offense that he sets them up to fail. When I hear Jackson Dart talk about all we did was go like this, it's like, yeah, I understand why Matt Corral was really, really talented and just busted out as soon as he got to the league.
Yeah, Ocho gets it. A DFT. He's a
All right,
domestic
pick
football
100.
Upton Stout, Western Kentucky. Let's go.
What was I gonna say? I forget. It will come back to me.
2 more picks. Philadelphia and
Call somebody
Minnesota.
else a domestic terrorist.
I might.
Minnesota at 102. This is our last chance for round 3 Shador Sanders.
Yeah, the Titans are up in a pick, by the way. They're in
Yeah,
2
no,
picks.
there's just about 12 hours between.
I know. It just kind of hit me though that they're like next.
Yeah, I mean, position undrafted, top available.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I'm not related to
Royals.
Hugh Freeze, by the way. Just to
Yeah,
clarify that for the
yeah.
chat. Not in any way related to that guy.
Jalen Royals still there
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
103.
that.
at 103.
So,
Yeah,
can we get serious for a second and talk about guys that are still there for the Titans?
Yep.
Isaiah
'Cause,
Bond.
by the way, we are not going to be live tomorrow because
Right,
that's
that's-
long.
So let's look wide receiver. Jalen Royals, Isaiah Bond are the top guys. Kind of
Bond is
available.
off their board.
Yeah.
Fair.
Bond is over there with Mike Green.
They already
Bond's 30
got
visible
safety. Look, they've talked about running back. What about catering to Vols fans? Dylan Sampson's still there.
I like
Good player.
Dylan Sampson. He doesn't fit what
know
they have
Sampson?
been looking for, to be fair. So,
Why not? Just curious.
I mean, you correct me if you think I'm wrong. I don't see him as. I mean, he's not he's not the biggest body guy. I don't see him as a bruiser. I see him as a more all around running back. I like what he can do, especially on the perimeter, and he's got a lot of acceleration that I like on tape. But I don't see him as the dirty work down guy necessarily.
What about
he will do all the Dylan Sampson will do whatever you want him to do, and he'll. And he's also a very good leader too. Like I think Dylan Sampson's a guy that
I like Dylan for what it's worth. I am curious about the fit.
Other guys that stick out to me as I scroll here. Obviously, AU Maynor is a guy. At this point, I would endorse that pick.
I'd be all the way back if you get AU Maynor or Torrey Horton out at 102.
Davion Jones just went to Denver at 101. Kyle Kennard, yep, sign me up. If you're going to go back to running back, I like Jordan James a lot out of Oregon, a local product as well. Brentwood kid.
That's right.
Chris Paul Jr., linebacker, Mississippi, could talk me into that as like a BPA sort of play.
Who is the guy you talked about? Who was the other Cal Williams guy you mentioned? Because that's how I feel
the curse of the Niners.
That's how I feel about Chris Paul Jr.
Oh yeah, fair.
yeah,
the double Kyle Williams. Yeah.
You Sam, you left off the guy that is quite literally going to be a Titan tomorrow.
Xavier Shepo?
Quincy Riley.
Thank you. Quincy Riley. Taking my shot. Took it a couple of days ago, but Quincy Riley is going to be a Titan.
Quincy Riley.
120?
Somewhere. I don't know where.
103 too.
I think 120, but also I thought that Jarvis would go in the 4th round last year and he went in the 5th. So who knows?
Scattaboo. Yeah, we could go for the power back that
the America's team. I would. Oh, we'd be so back if Scattaboo.
I would unfortunately really have to turn on Tony Pollard and be like, just give all the touches.
This guy's a bum. He's old. Look at his hairline. We got an A to Z article on his hairline. Go check it out.
I feel like Scattaboo takes like 3 seconds to get to the line of scrimmage in the NFL.
He might.
Quit thinking about that. Quit thinking about that.
Kind of like Hassan Haskins, like. That's who
how dare you compare those two? Hassan Haskins was scoring touchdowns last year. You understand me? He was, in that LA Chargers system, somehow, some way, he was
like Jim Harbaugh. That's what
meaningful player. That's a good point.
He's drinking more milk.
Well, the final pick is getting announced right now. No, you cannot. He wants a Skull Vikings in Green Bay.
Yeah, that's a crazy ask.
Yeah, don't think you can get one of those. Come on. Tony Pollard. He's the man.
He can't do it. No one can.
Tay Felton, wide receiver. Maryland goes to the Vikings. So another receiver off the board. That does it for round 3. No Shedeur Sanders. Titans are on the clock.
So gut check. You're picking right now. Actually, they're adding the Titans pick. You're on the clock now for 5 minutes. Who you taking? I know Sam's answer.
My answer? Yeah, I'd probably
take Royals. Me you're not taking Royals. Yeah,
I'd probably take Royals. I'm fine with AU Maynor, but I would also be in Royals.
Man, y'all sleeping on Torrey Horton.
I don't like
you. I'm telling you, you're sleeping on Torrey Horton.
He's too thin.
Too thin. What are you talking about?
I don't like thin receivers. I like nice.
That's because he's too thin. He's been at Colorado State. They don't have
he's 190. He's 196 pounds. He's not.
He looks thin
because he's 6'3".
Yeah, if Torrey Horton,
maybe I'm wrong, but
he's got an NFL build, 6'3", 200 pounds. Give me Torrey Horton.
If he played at a Power 4 school, he'd be 206.
Hey, and you know why Torrey Horton fits? Because Torrey Horton got hurt midway through last year, and if Torrey Horton played all year long, he'd have been a first rounder.
4
first rounders.
Guess who else got hurt midway through last year?
Good point. Jalen Royals also fit the bill. Baby. Both of those guys fit the trend. I'm telling you.
And Jalen Royals, what did we know about Jalen Royals? Skill set. He's loaded.
6 foot 205.
It's does he understand? Kid. Does he understand football? But he's a development guy. He's the
quickest 10-yard split of the position at the combine.
The NFL coaches I've talked about Jalen Royals have said going to be a guy that's very quiet for the first half of the year and then is very, very active in whatever offense he's in the back half of the year. That sounds like a developmental guy with a lot of skills.
Okay.
I think you're all over it, Sam.
I think Royals or Horton. Or both. Why not both?
I would be more excited about Royals at 103 than Jalen Noel at any point in the draft, because this has just been only because
no. You would have loved Jalen Noel at 103.
No, I still like. There was something about the call of Royals. The first time I watched him, I texted Easton, I texted Teron Davenport, I texted everybody I know. I said, "Hey, go watch this Royals guy. This dude is the truth."
It's like January 12th.
Yeah, it was literally like 2 days after the Titans season ended. I'm sitting here just busting out Utah State tape and loving every second.
Yeah, I wanted to respond, no.
Yeah, I was like, you got to go put on Utah State their week 3 game against UNLV. He's like, I'm good. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. My list is pretty straightforward. There's a litany of receivers that we've talked about. Royals. I'm partial to Jalen Lane, but I don't think that they like him, so don't pay attention to that. Royal
small in the chat, by the way. That guy's really too small.
Yeah, you want to talk about too skinny? Hello.
And slow.
Well,
but he's just not fast enough.
He's a guy that gets open though. That guy gets open.
He gets open. But
if you're going to be
in the NFL when he's going against L'Jarius Sneeds every week that are just going to push him down.
Yeah. Royals, Horton, Ayamain are the top 3 receivers, pretty clearly not close to me. And then I think Quincy Riley is live from here on out for the Titans.
Yep.
And then beyond that, I think Braden Swinson is the best edge remaining pretty clearly. I'm trying to think of who the next best edge is. Like,
what's
your Jack Sawyer? But let's be real.
People are going to bring up the name Jack Sawyer. So what's your
Jack Sawyer is an appropriate pick with your 2nd, 5th round pick.
Okay. Restrepo.
No, he's live immediately. I forgot about Restrepo entirely. That's my bad. I think I would take him at any. I mean, I would not love him at 102. I would like him at 120. I would really like him from there on out, rather.
So,
I think once you get past the 4th round, like Restrepo, I agree. It's like whatever.
Whatever.
103 has to be a receiver, right? Yeah.
No, like it's the point. Like, I'm not crazy about Restrepo. I think Restrepo's a little bit overvalued. Don't love him as what?
What do you mean it doesn't have to be Easton? Like 103 has to be a receiver. Like you have
Austin, we just covered this. Did you fall and hit your head in the last 20 minutes? They don't care what it has to be. They don't care.
Did you fall and hit your head? They are going to look you in your eyes, wave at the camera, and take Quincy Riley.
You're going to grab you like this and say, Austin.
Like if it has, if it's not a receiver, then trade it.
Why? You have 120.
So
you can get a receiver then.
No, Austin. Austin, you've lost the plot here.
You're so tilted on receiver. It's too late.
I agreed with you all day today. We're in the 100s. We're in the 4th round. I don't care if it's
trade it. No, trade it.
Why?
This is the point. No, Austin. This is the part.
Braden Swinson is a great pick at 102.
Kyle Kennard's a great pick at 103.
Okay, 103. Sorry,
they had 102. Kyle Kennard's also a great pick. This is the part of the draft.
Agreed.
That you generally do go best player available. Like this is that part of the draft where if they're going to go and get Quincy Riley, I don't care that they don't need a cornerback. I'm going to be like, oh, intriguing player. Cool. Sign me up.
Austin, I will compromise with you on this. They have to find a receiver somewhere. They have said themselves, publicly and privately, they're going to find a receiver somewhere. But it does not have to be at 102. It can be 103, 120, 140, 140. It can be any of them. This is a team that the last 2 years, they've been starved for a receiver the last 2 years, and they've taken a 7th rounder and a 6th rounder.
2 years.
If they take Royals at 103, though, just know that just like Devondre Sweat, if they take Royals at 103, I'm the reason that he's a Titan, because I was telling every Titans coach that would listen at the combine, hey, I really like Jalen Royals. I really think you should listen to me on this one. And they said, yeah, dude. Yeah, you got it. We'll take that.
Please leave us alone.
We'll take that into consideration. No, dude. Yeah. Good looks on the rec. Yeah. We'll take it into consideration for sure.
Good looks on the rec.
That's exactly what happened.
That's a Nick Holtz line.
And why? Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Imagine good looks on the rec coming out of Denard Wilson's mouth. Not happening.
Not happening. Nope. There's only one coach that would say that.
It's Nick. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
We've been 3.5 hours in the books.
The Titans have really kept us on for most of the night, is what ended up happening.
We did a lot of this, and I haven't had food. Somebody said Sam's in a good mood. He had dinner.
You ate the 2nd round.
Dog, I had a peanut butter toast because that's all I had. Because I put some taquitos in the oven. Forgot that they were in the oven because we were talking ball. burned the taquitos, so now I just have a pan with last taquitos.
That's
so
good.
that's why I said when I got up and said, "Hey, I got to turn the oven off," it's because I smelled blackening taquito crust, and I had to go get up to do that.
Yeah,
so I had my wife pick up some food for me on the way home, which has been sitting on the counter for the last half hour, and I am dying to go eat it.
Well, all right.
Get after it.
All right. See you later.
We will not be live tomorrow.
No,
So,
but we'll be writing.
Tons of coverage. Yes, absolutely. So that is it for us. Shout out to Bart Dermindrela, Holiday World, and Splash and Safari. Great sponsors of our draft live coverage. And we'll see you guys on Monday. But the draft continues tomorrow. Lots of content. Buck will be back live Sunday night for prime time. That is it. And we will catch you guys later on. Enjoy the rest of the draft.
Burnt taquitos before Shador.